What's up, Heat Seekers? We are back. Week 15, week 1 of the fantasy playoffs for most leagues. Obviously, some are different. Sully.
Yeah.
Week 1 of the playoffs. We've got, 4 games in the books now.
Yeah.
How are you stacking up for your playoff teams?
Made the playoffs in 5, have a bye in 1. 2 of the teams playing in the semi look good. 2 of the teams look not good. So I think I'll probably get my teams cut by 2 this week. But you never know, right? We've seen some really weird stuff all season long. So who knows? Bryce, how are your teams looking?
I made the playoffs in 3, and I have the 1 seed in one of them, and I'm off to a pretty good start in 1. He had Josh Allen, unfortunately, in the other one, we'll see. I need a lot of help. So, but my 1 seed looks like I got a legitimate chance to win that. Got a nice team. So we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. Rick, what about you?
I've got 2 teams. Let me make sure here. Yeah, I've got 2 teams in the playoffs. One's on a bye. The other one is so far our matchup has been I've had Tyreek Hill and Tyler Lockett, which I was glad Lockett didn't just get blanked against the 49ers. I was kind of worried that would be a real bad matchup and that he could get shut out. So happy that he got to about 12 points. And I'm facing Dalvin Cook, which looked really good until one 60-yard touchdown right before the end of the game. And then he also had Mark Andrews and Jalen Waddle. So it's been kind of good. Mark Andrews kind of helped balance it out with his disappearing act, which come to think of, like, it's been a while since we've had a good Mark Andrews week.
Feels like it's been about 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's been kind of brutal, but just so everybody knows, you've heard Bryce and I talk about our little trade that we made preseason where he got my number 1 pick. I ended up being the point leader going into week 14, but missed the playoffs with the 9 seed. So Mr. Bryce gets lucky and gets the number 4 pick from me.
Yes.
Brutal. But Anthony is in here and he needs help. We need to start one of these running backs. We've got Antonio Gibson, Jerick McKinnon, and Zonovan Knight. Bryce, which one of these 3 are you starting here in week 15?
So Jerick McKinnon has the Texans, but Jerick McKinnon's not really much of a runner more than he is a receiving back. I think I might go Zonovan Knight here. The dude's got a nice floor. He's very active in the pass game. It's not like they just bring in, Michael Carter just for passing down work. As Zonovan Knight's in there, he's getting his. And Zach Wilson does check it down, even though Mike White's not playing today. I'll take Zonovan Knight with that floor play in a potentially high scoring game against the Lions today. Sully, who you got out of these 3?
I'm going to join you, and I think that people are really down on the Jets since the Mike White announcement, and I get that. But I look at the Jets now are going to deploy an offense similar to earlier in the season when Zach Wilson came back. They ran the ball really well. Now, Zonovan Knight is not – why is his name escaping me right
Breece
now?
Hall.
Thank you. Zonovan Knight is not Breece Hall. That said, I think he's run really well, and you can run on the Lions. I know their defense has been better in recent weeks, but I like Zonovan here, and I would go McKinnon next, and Gibson would be a distant third here for me. Rick?
Yeah, I'm making this a 3-way play here. I'm going with Zonovan Knight as well, and it is because of the dual threat that he gives you. He's going to get you probably 15 carries today, and he's probably going to get you 4 to 5 targets today in this game because we know the Lions can score points, and the Jets are going to have to, and I just think he's the safest play out of all these guys because McKinnon could get his 4 to 5 targets, but that could be it, and it could be for 25 yards.
Right.
Obviously, last week he had a really good game with multiple touchdowns and some long plays, but we know Houston gets beat on the ground. Pacheco's probably the one that's going to get the majority of the work today for them. And then Antonio Gibson's just hard to trust, and he's not getting the majority of the carries there. So I'm going with Zonovan Knight as well. I just think the kid's looked really good, and he's probably going to be the number 2 back to Breece Hall next year.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do the Jets do with their running backs next year?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a running back with talent. Now, obviously, the James Robinson, it just depends on how he heals up and improves. But, I mean, that's their fourth running back right now. That's a pretty good, maybe fifth if you count Ty Johnson ahead of him.
Right.
They've got a good running back room. There's going to be a decent running back, at least on paper, available because they're not going to be able to keep all of them.
Right.
Morning, gentlemen. Patterson or hold off and go Higgins or Dillon. Also starting Aaron Jones. Don't need a boom, but can't have a bust. So, Sully, we'll let you start this one.
Well, if you don't want to bust, stay away from T. Higgins because I don't know what the hell is going on in Cincinnati. That's a little bit of a personal rant for me. Had him in my guillotine league last week. He's cleared. Everything's good. And then, whoop, see you later. So I hope Zach Wilson eats some medium rare chicken sometime soon. That being said, I think it's Patterson, right? He's your floor guy. He's been getting targeted in that offense since Kyle Pitts went down. I'm very, very, very interested in seeing Desmond Ridder today. I'm a pretty big fan of his, so I'm going to see what he can do. But I think he's going to open up some lanes for those running backs. It won't be all Patterson, but I think you will see the Falcons move the ball a little bit today. I think Dillon's in a really good spot as well. I don't love starting two guys on the same team. That said, it's Patterson for me. Bryce?
Yeah, if you can't have a bust, you obviously probably can't go T. Higgins because we saw it last week. But he's probably got the highest ceiling out of all these guys. I guess I'll go Patterson as well. Dillon's matchup's not that great. The Rams' run defense is pretty good, and his usage has also been relatively inconsistent this year with Aaron Jones looking way better than him.
Is the Rams' run defense still good?
They're like middle of the pack.
Yeah, they're like middle of the pack, higher end. I think they're like they're like top 12 against the run this year. So
I'd like to see where they are like the last 3 or 4 weeks, like without Aaron Donald and all the crap.
Out in the middle. And that's, I feel like, where AJ Dillon gets like most of his touches is like between the tackles, and that's where they're the best with Bobby Wagner and
that's fair.
Donald in there. So I think they don't do too good against like stretch runs. So I'll go Patterson as well, thinking that they probably lean on the run game today with Desmond Ridder. And I just don't trust T. Higgins after him putting a 0 this week, especially if you cannot have a bust. But he would be my ceiling play. Rick?
I'm a little bit different. See, I think all these players have bust potential, all 3 of them.
Really?
I'm a little worried in Atlanta that they're going to be really scouting these young players. I mean, they remove Marcus Mariota despite the team, like all of the team behind him. The team did not want Marcus Mariota removed from the starter position. Obviously, then he left the team, and then there's this knee thing, but you know.
So is IR made up?
I mean, it sounds like it. The coach came out and said that he left the team after he lost his job. I feel like he would have played with it. But the whole team was pissed. The whole team was pissed that they moved to Ridder. A bunch of the players came out and said that they had Marcus's back and he was their quarterback. But I think they're going in the youth. You know, they're trying to figure out this last quarter of the season for them. What do we have in our youth? We need to find out, is Desmond Ridder the guy? Is Algier the guy? They've got Caleb Huntley. Is he the guy? We need to get Drake London involved with Ridder and see if that's a match that's good for us for the future. So Patterson really worries me because we've already seen inconsistent usage of him as well. And then Dillon with Aaron Jones, that just all year has been really a big question mark. We all thought Dillon was going to be much better this year, I think.
Yeah.
Higgins is in one of the best offenses with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I know last week was rough, but I think I'm still going with him because of that upside that Bryce talked about with the question marks around these other guys. I think I'm going to Higgins. He's the guy that you probably drafted in the second round, and now's when you need him. And I don't want him on the bench if he goes for 25 and these running backs put up 8 to 10 points. So I'm going to Higgins there, but I do understand there's concerns with all 3 of these guys right now, and it sucks because you'd love to have some clarity going into week 1 of the playoffs. Picked Jerick McKinnon last week, and after Allen's huge game, I am in the thick of it. Need 2 running backs, standard scoring. Monty, McKinnon, Kamara. After that, I have a running back wide receiver spot, and will either use the leftover of Christian Watts, running back, or Christian Watson. So, okay. First off, we need 2 running backs out of these 3. I'm going Monty and Kamara.
I'm joining you.
Me too.
Okay, so we're all on board there. Now the question is, are you starting McKinnon or Christian Watson in your flex spot? Bryce?
It's got to be Christian Watson. I mean, the dude's like on a 4-week, 5-week, like consistently putting up a touchdown, getting a lot more targets. I'm definitely going Christian Watson here pretty easily. Sully?
I am as well, but I once again will ask that we temper our expectations on Christian Watson. Regression is coming in a big, bad way. It's just inevitable.
We're going to find a bet for Christian Watson today.
We will definitely do that. But with that said, I think Jerick McKinnon is the back to start if you have to start a Chiefs back today. That said, I don't think you can put McKinnon up against Christian Watson in a standard scoring format.
Yeah, I understand regression is coming for Christian Watson, but the more trust he gets, and we know, I guess we could have said the same thing about one Mr. Devontae Adams at times in his career with Aaron Rodgers, but we know Aaron Rodgers will lock on to a guy if he's doing well. And what Christian Watson has done the last month of the season has just been unbelievable. And I don't think that Rodgers is going to look away from him for the rest of the year. So I'm going Christian Watson as well. I'm curious to wonder. I wonder why do you think McKinnon is the back to start for the Chiefs when Pacheco's the bruiser up against Houston, who can't stop the run?
I just think it's not so much the touches, it's the quality of touches. And you can go all the way back to last season and into the playoffs when things matter the most for Kansas City and they need something out of the running back position. They lean on Jerick McKinnon. Will they need to lean on him today against that run defense? Probably not. But I don't think Isaiah Pacheco was really overly good is also part of it for me. I think, if you got yards for leg RPMs, he'd probably be the number 1 back in the league. Like, I've never seen a guy get the ball and his legs move so fast, so quickly and go nowhere. So I think he's all right. I think he's definitely a top 20 something back this week, but I think McKinnon is going to score more points than him this week. He's going to catch the ball. He's probably going to score the touchdowns. I just think he's the better back.
Bet?
Sure.
All right.
Bryce, Ian?
I'll take Pacheco.
Cool. $10 coming my way. Fucking ching.
Saints defense or Cardinals defense?
Saints play Atlanta. And Cardinals play Denver. Ooh.
So we've got Cardinals versus Denver with Brett Ripien as quarterback, and we've got Saints versus Atlanta with rookie Desmond Ridder. I'm picking on the rookies all the time if the games are close, right? Both of them not really great offenses. Both of them are probably not going to throw the ball a lot, so that's not going to be where we get our points. But hopefully they throw some picks out of the. They're both probably going to try to run the ball a ton with those quarterbacks. So I'm going to pick on the rookie. I have not been a big fan of Ridder, so I don't know that any rookie's ready in game 15 to 14 of the season anyway. So that's where I'm going. Where are you going, Sully?
I think the Denver offense got an upgrade today at quarterback, believe it or not.
I don't think that's true, but
I'm joking, but I don't think you're going to see a noticeable difference. Like, this massively paid quarterback has thrown 11 touchdown passes this year. So how much worse can Brett Rippon really be?
Well, but
I really like Desmond Ridder. That said, I think the Saints might eat him up a little bit. Probably take some sacks when he does throw. He has a tendency probably under pressure in his first start to throw something that he shouldn't. So I really like him. I think he's a solid addition to that team. I think he should have been starting long ago. Apparently the team and Marcus Mariota disagree with me, but I'll go with the Saints.
I'll go opposite. I'll go the Cardinals. I like Desmond Ridder as well. The thing is, I think with a younger quarterback, they're going to try and get the ball out of his hands quick, and the first read's not there. He's pretty mobile. Mobile quarterbacks are a little bit harder to sack, where I think Brett Ripken is going to be easier to sack. So I really don't like either of these defense. They don't seem like they get a lot of turnovers or sacks, each of them. But I'll go with the Cardinals defense because I really just think that they could shut down the Broncos to 0 points, where I could see the Falcons maybe scoring a touchdown or two.
Kyle says, looking ahead to week 17, do you know which quarterback is the best streamer? I have an unhealthy Lamar and Kirk's matchup isn't good. Okay, so I don't remember all the schedules off the top of my head, but I believe one Mr. Jared Goff plays the Bears in week 17, right?
17, the Vikings are in Green Bay, and Baltimore is home to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, what about Detroit? They play the Bears, right? He's looking for the best streamer, and I think Jared Goff, if he's available, plays the Bears.
Detroit plays the Bears in Detroit.
If Jared Goff's available, then I love him in week 17. I love any quarterback that you can get against the Bears right now. They give it up.
I like that too. And as much as I don't really believe in this kid, I think Purdy against the Raiders might be a good pick.
Yeah,
to stream as well.
I mean, Purdy's playing well. They're getting him high leverage throws, high conversion throws.
Yeah,
and there's touchdown upside there with the talent that's on that team. He has played solid. Can't really knock the kid yet.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, he's putting up the same numbers as Jimmy Garoppolo, and all of a sudden Purdy is like Joe Montana and Jimmy Garoppolo's crap. So I just think we're overstating what this guy is doing. That's all. I want to see a pass rush against him.
I thought Jimmy Garoppolo was playing pretty well before he
He's in the best season of his career, I think.
So if Purdy's matching him, then that seems like a pretty good deal you're getting there out of a.
Jimmy Garoppolo's a game manager and can't win the big one, and then Purdy comes in and does the exact same things as Jimmy, and it's like, this guy's unreal. I think maybe they don't need Trey Lance anymore, and he might be as good as Joe Montana, and maybe we should put up a statue up front. Like, come on, settle down.
They were already talking about how Garoppolo could be coming back. There was literally talk that week about them bringing Garoppolo back to be their starting quarterback in the future.
Yeah.
So that's what they need. They don't need the Joe Burrow. We don't even know if doesn't turn the ball over.
But who's saying Trey Lance can't do that? He played a game in Chicago that was the worst weather and worst field conditions I think I've ever seen, and then like another 2 quarters after that. So I think we're throwing a little dirt early on a grave that isn't even a grave. I think it's ridiculous.
The 49ers seen a lot of Trey Lance that we didn't see. So
yeah.
What are they thinking there? They thought little of him enough to bring Garoppolo back this year after it exploded and was like a terrible situation. So
maybe, and not to make this an entire 49ers quarterback show, but I think they were more concerned with where Jimmy would go. They would rather have him on their roster as their backup. They weren't pulling Trey Lance. At least that wasn't the plan until Lance blew up his ankle. So
but then I could argue that I don't think you get Garoppolo to come back after all that if he doesn't think there's a chance at him being the quarterback at some point this year.
Maybe, but they also restructured his deal that made it favorable for him to do so. But anyway, moving on.
Either way, Anthony says we need to flex one of these: DeAndre Swift, Rachaad White, Christian Watson, full PPR. Where are you going with this one, Sully?
I'm a little worried about Detroit today. I don't know what Jared Goff's going to do outdoors in not so nice of weather, being a Southern California kid and all those other things. That said, looks like Swift's all the way back, and he's really taken hold of the touches and relevant touches in that offense. So I'm going to go with Swift. I don't know what Tampa's going to do with White and Fournette, and I just think it's about to strike midnight on Christian Watson. So Swift for me. Bryce.
I thought Swift was back too, but last week he didn't even get 10 touches.
He didn't?
No, he got 9. He got 6 carries and 3 receptions. So I'm still a little worried about his usage.
That's a valid point.
Jamal Williams is playing today. I knew there was like potential that he wasn't.
Well, and Justin Jackson's involved as well.
Exactly. I know that, but I feel like if Jamal Williams is active and playing,
Justin Jackson's questionable. He got tagged with an illness last night, so he might not go.
It looks like Jamal Williams is playing. So I'm gonna go with I like Christian Watson out of all these guys. And then Rick, I just want to let you know you did skip the one question above, just so you.
Bryce, I'll bet you.
I'll get
this
that.
is our Christian Watson bet then. Give me Swift.
Swift and Christian Watson, I'll take that.
I mean, I think I'm actually going Swift here, and the reason why is different than anything else. It's because I feel like they're going to have to check down to the running backs in Detroit because you've got one little Mr. Sauce Gardner on the other side, and the Jets' passing defense has been shutting down receivers. I feel like Detroit's going to have to check it down more. So I feel like Swift this week could get like 8 targets, and I'll take that out of Swift this week. So that's where I'm at with it. But I mean, I don't hate Christian Watson. He would be my number 2 here, and it's not a big gap between those two. So I'll let you guys have this bet.
Fair enough.
Jose, sorry to skip you. We will get this right now. Sit 1. Elliott, Connor, Zonovan Knight, full PPR. This one's pretty easy for me. I'm sitting Elliott here because of the full PPR. Connor, I think, had 5 targets last week. Zonovan's caught like 12 out of 12 targets in 3 weeks. So I'm going to go with those 2 guys that get some targets. Elliott's not, you could argue he's not the number 1 runner or the number 1 pass catcher in the backfield. Definitely not the number 1 pass catcher in the backfield. It's worrisome with Elliott every week with the way Pollard has played and the usage splits that we've got there in Dallas now. So I'm gonna sit Elliott. Sully, who you sitting?
This one's tough for me. It's between Elliott and Connor, and I think the Broncos are legit, and we have 2 backup quarterbacks going in that one. And I know Colt McCoy is kind of a better backup than your average backup. That said, Elliott against Jacksonville, he'll get relevant touches. They love to get him in the end zone. I'm going to sit James Conner here. Bryce?
James Conner's my number 1. I'm not sitting him personally. He's getting all the touches, all the catches. Zonovan and Zeke's touches are very similar. Like, Zonovan probably gets a little bit more receptions. Zeke's been somewhat decent the last 2 weeks, got 3 receptions each of those games. So with that being said, I'll go with Zeke just because of the touchdown upsides. I think a little bit better for Dallas than the Jets.
Really? First Detroit?
I mean, Detroit's been playing a little bit better, but I mean, I just don't think that the offenses are not really comparable in my opinion. So
what if Mike White was the quarterback? Would you think there was more touchdown upside for
Zonovan Knight would probably be my choice. I mean, Zeke would probably be sitting if Zonovan Knight was, or if Mike White was playing.
So you're sitting Zonovan Knight.
I'm sitting Zonovan Knight here.
So we're all sitting a different guy.
We're all sitting a different guy.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Jose. Thanks for coming up.
Sorry, Jose. Chat, help Jose out. Which one are you sitting? Type that in the chat real quick. Trusting Higgins this week or playing it safe with Palmer or Hubbard? Thanks, fellas. Well, I don't think Palmer is safe. We've got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen in. I mean, Palmer will probably get you 8 to 10. But I'm going Higgins. I mean, again, we drafted him in the 2nd round. This is where we need him. This is what we got him for. I'm going Higgins here. Bryce, who you going with?
Yeah, I'm going Higgins here rather easily.
I can't see Cincinnati pulling the same shit that they did last week, 2 weeks in a row. So if he's active, he's going to play. He's clearly the best of these 3 players, no matter what the situation is. Even with one leg, he might be the best of these 3. So I think you absolutely have to trust in T. Higgins as long as he's active. That said, I do like Chuba Hubbard this week, but it's not even close to Higgins.
Jeff says, good morning, gentlemen. JT getting hurt quickly definitely hurt me and tons of other teams, I'm sure. I'm really hoping for a big game by Christian Watson today. Don't talk to Sully. I started him over Cooper this week. Good luck, man.
I hope I'm wrong, Jeff. You're a loyal visitor on a weekly basis. I would hedge your bets, though, my friend. That's all I'm going to say.
The Joker, full PPR, pick 2. Stevenson, Montgomery, Rashad White, Donta Foreman, Jamal Williams. Thank you. I'm going with Ramondre and Montgomery right off the bat. It's pretty easy for me. Sully, who you going with? You making faces down there.
I'm waiting for Bryce's answer. I'll defer.
Bryce.
Well, I just want to see that Ramondre's playing and he has no limitations. That's the only thing. He's a true game time decision today, but it looks like he will be suiting up. Montgomery's the easy one. I'm going Ramondre if he's playing and healthy, but if he's not, I think I might go Rashad White out of the
That's who I would go with if if we find out Stevenson wasn't playing.
But Jamal Williams has, I think, probably the lowest PPR upside for any running back in the NFL. I don't think he's had a catch. They just said it this morning. He hasn't had a catch in like 5 weeks or something, or a receiving yard or something like that. And Deontay Foreman's also not very involved in the pass game. So Rashad White's got a nice floor with his PPR upside, kind of in that split backfield in Tampa Bay. So
I'm kind of with Bryce here. I think clearly the Ramondre question mark is related to health. I'm also concerned that what we saw out of the two backs that came in after he went down, they both performed. So if New England has any history of just muddying things up, that's the window is wide open for them to do that, Ramondre dressed or not. So I'm going to go with David Montgomery here, and I'm going to go with Rashad White, and I'm going to hope that White scores a touchdown or gets 6 to 8 catches.
Definitely possible.
Christian Kirk, Juju, or Bam Knight. Half PPR. This is for Tyler. Sully.
So initially I would say Juju, and I know Patrick Mahomes will still throw against Houston, but teams don't really throw against Houston, and Houston's actually good at defending the wide receiver position. We just saw what CeeDee Lamb did a week ago, and they're one of the better teams in the league. So I'll go away from that. I do like Bam a lot, but I think Jacksonville's going to have to throw a lot, and Trevor Lawrence is playing lights out. So I'll go Christian Kirk here. Bryce?
I do. I mean, I agree that people run all over Houston. There's no debating that, but Kansas City doesn't care. Like, they'll throw the ball just because it's more fun, and that's just how Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes operate. Like, their pass game is pretty much their run game as well, because they'll just use the short passes in place of the run game. It seems like Christian Kirk could be drawing Trevon Diggs all game today, and I don't think Trevon Diggs is like a super great corner, but he's gotten significantly better this year on not allowing a ton of yards. Obviously, he hasn't got as many turnovers as last year. I really think that Bam Knight is the safest option out of these guys today. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a Zay Jones day with Christian Kirk drawing Trevon Diggs. And Kadarius Toney is back today. I'm not sure how that'll affect Juju's maybe volume. But it seems like he's touchdown dependent as well, where I feel like Bam Knight can get a decent amount in the PPR game to still be like a 10-point floor, where these guys I think have less.
I like it.
Yeah, Christian Kirk's really, really scary for me now, because it's not just Zay Jones who's getting double-digit targets. We've got Mr. Evan Ingram that over the past few weeks has really grown and connected with Mr. Trevor Lawrence, which is nice because I've been pumping him the last few weeks. So I'm glad he didn't make me look stupid for once, because everybody that's been around for a while knows I've been an Evan Ingram fan since he came out. Like, I thought he's super talented, had one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen from a tight end. And then, like many others in New York, he had some struggles there, but he's looking like the old Evan Ingram right now, and that's scary for Christian Kirk. And it's so hard to pick which receiver is going to be the receiver to own on a weekly basis for the Chiefs. That makes me want to stay away from them if I have an option. And like I said, I think Bam Knight's going to get 15 carries, 4 to 5 targets, and that's the safe play that I want this week, unless you absolutely know. Like, if you faced somebody that has Josh Allen and Dalvin Cook and you're in a big hole, then I might go with one of the wide receivers, but I'm going Bam Knight there in a vacuum.
How about that Zay Jones DJ Shark bet last week?
Oh, man, you guys by 0.5 point.
Out of all the bets ever, the
two shittiest guys in a bet ever, and they just both go off. It was awesome.
I sent Rob a message in Discord, and I said, dude, we've got the wide receiver $5 bet battle of history.
When Zay Jones caught that pass that was deflected off the defender, I'm watching Red Zone, and I'm like, he stepped out. So I didn't even pay attention to it. And then I came back, I'm like, holy shit, that was a touchdown. It's crazy.
Okay, so we got Trey here. He says full PPR. He needs to start one. He's got Judy, Boyd, or Rashad White. Dulcich is his tight end. So I think he's just saying the two Denver players, thanks and good luck today. So, Sully.
Yeah.
Who are you going with?
I don't really trust Jerry Jeudy with Brett Rippon, but I really do like Greg Dulcich. Arizona is god-awful against the tight end, and that makes sense that Rippon will use that as a safety blanket. Tyler Boyd broke his finger, and he was supposed to be out like for 3 weeks, and now he's playing, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe that's Zach Taylor's player to screw us with this week. I'm going back to Rachaad White. I just think that, 6 to 8 catches, 30, 40 yards on the ground, maybe scores. I think that's where I'm going to go here. What are you doing, Bryce?
I don't mind Jerry Jeudy with Brett Rippon because he did get one of his touchdowns with him at quarterback. I think you could chalk this up to floor and ceiling play, where my floor play is definitely Rachaad White of these guys. And then if I need like a 25-plus potentially point week, I would go Jerry Jeudy. So that's kind of what I'll chalk it to. If you want a safer play, definitely Rachaad White. But if you want that ceiling, you got to go Jerry Jeudy here. Rick?
I'm going Jerry Jeudy. I mean, if we're saying it's like a lateral move at quarterback, then that'll be fine for Jeudy. He's been putting up some pretty good numbers here recently,
especially without
plus
Sutton.
You've got Sutton out and Hinton, who had been getting a lot of targets. So you've got another target.
Watch
guy
out for your boy Virgil this week.
Virgil, who's that guy? But I'm going with Jeudy here and rolling with it. I love.
Yeah,
Jeudy.
I need to change.
I hope the
I need to
Bears
change
target
my.
Jeudy.
I need to
going
change
to
my
Jeudy?
answer. Yeah, you guys
All
sold me.
We got 2.5 to.
We might as well help at
0.5
least
on-
one person
I
here.
usually go
Are you
with
right?
Philly play, so I'm putting in Jeudy, but I could see if you wanted Rachaad White in there.
Ra says flex and tight end full PPR. Dulcich, Okonkwo, DJ Moore, Slayton, Burkhead, Lions or Chargers D. Okay, so we got a lot to unpack here. So we need a flex and a tight end. I think we're all going Dulcich, right? We all agreed Dulcich is the one here. I do like Okonkwo, though. That kid looked good last week. He's
I like him in
athletic.
Dynasty.
He looked good.
I don't know where he came from, but he sure does.
But I'm liking Dulcich here. And then we have this flex spot. So which of these are you going with? DJ Moore, Slayton, Burkhead, or Okonkwo? Bryce. Or Sully.
Slayton. I was just going to say Slayton gets the Commanders. DJ Moore gets the Steelers. Burkhead gets the Chiefs.
I've got a really weird feeling it's a DJ Moore week this week. That's a soft secondary. He's just been so inconsistent this year, and Slayton has been pretty consistent. I'll go with Darius Slayton. I don't like it a lot. I really like DJ Moore this week. But Darius Slayton has been really consistent as of lately, and it's hard to ignore him. He gets this 50-50 deep balls, it seems like, every game, and he's getting all the targets now with like pretty much no other wide receivers there. So I'll go Darius Slayton. And then, Lions or Chargers defense. The Lions, I'm just going to go the Chargers defense with the guys that can get sacks.
I do have a point to make on the defense there before we answer that.
Go for it.
Lions also get Zach Wilson on the other side and have been getting some more pressure. So that's just something to think about there when you think about the old Lions D against one Zach Wilson. He's going to come out and just light it up now.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope he just goes ham and then he has his way with about 2 or 3 moms after the game. Like, I just think this kid's getting shit on, and it's not really fair in my opinion.
You think he's playing?
I don't know. He's played terrible.
He's got it. This is his career he's playing for today, really. I mean, if he kind of goes out there and sucks, like
I get it. But how many career starts has this kid had?
Well, yeah, but the problem is they went out and did everything like Miami did. Brain fart. Oh, like Philly did for Jalen, right? They went out and they did that for him. And we've seen Flacco play better than him this year. Joe Flacco, like way better than him. And we've seen Mike White play way better than him. It's troublesome because it's been real bad. It hasn't just been bad, right? Last year there was
been a different offense though, too.
But it's been bad.
They haven't called the same plays for Zach Wilson as they have for White or Flacco, and that might be the most telling thing of all, right? Maybe they don't think he can throw the ball, so they don't. I don't know. They see him in practice, to your point about Trey Lance. But I just think that Zach Wilson he's got arm talent. I don't know if he has it in between his ears or not, but man, like this league has been throwing away these top guys way too quickly, in my opinion. You got to just chill the hell out. Anyway, we should probably answer the question.
So who you going with there, Sully?
Dolchich is my tight end. I'm going to go with Slayton, even though I could see Burkhead catching 6 or 8 passes when it's 42-0. And I'm going to go with the Chargers defense for the same reason as Bryce stated. I think they get to the quarterback. Tannehill's a statue. They're going to sack him and they could pick him off.
I'm also going with Dulcich, but I'm highly considering Burkhead here with Damian Pierce out. But my issue with going there is that Mac actually looked. Mac
he was on the Broncos.
Bounced around too much. Yeah.
It's Dare.
Yeah,
the Jags old guy. He'll get the carries though, right? And Burkhead will get the catches.
Benjamin's there too.
Do what?
Benjamin's there too.
No, he's not. He's in New Orleans now.
Already? He just was there.
These guys, I know that's what I'm saying. These guys are bouncing around.
But apparently there was a story that came out about him about Eno is just not a guy people like, and that's why he's been released twice. So he could play for New Orleans today, though. He's in a good spot in New Orleans with Ingram out.
I'm going Burkhead.
Really? Hey,
Burkhead. I just think we've seen it at the end of last year. He won people leagues last year when
he's a cockroach. Hey,
he just sticks there, and he's gonna get targets. He'll still probably get 10 carries.
Yeah, maybe. I really hate him.
It's dangerous, but if you want to go safe, I understand Slayton. He's the only one that's safe. DJ Moore's not safe. Carolina Panthers, their receivers are not safe.
And they want to run.
That probably leans, since it's playoffs, that probably leans me going Slayton here. I talked myself out of Burkhead, but I think he's in a good spot this week. Peter says, good morning, gentlemen. Need a tight end. Start half PPR, half point per first down. Freiermuth or Chigo Okonkwo? We're still sticking with Freiermuth here, right? Like we're not putting Chig in over him.
Are you concerned with the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh? I think Trubisky's fine, right?
I don't think there's a big difference right now between him and Pickett. Pickett, I think, will be better in the future, but
I just think you have to go with Freiermuth because if you are, I think when you're playing Tennessee, your biggest concern is Derrick Henry. But if you're concerned about the passing game, isn't Chig the best part of their passing game right now?
Yeah. I mean,
so you take that away. Robert Woods is not doing so well, and Treylon Burks is out. So I would stick with Freiermuth, especially the point per first down. Like Freiermuth seems to be like Heath Miller used to be and get those 3rd and 6 and 7 yard receptions. So
yeah, he's a third down machine. Chigo Okonkwo has had 13 catches in the last 3 games to Freiermuth's 9. Like the targets and receptions and yards are all favoring Chigo Okonkwo. So I really
big play guy.
This one's a little harder for me because I think the quarterback issue is a problem because I feel like Kenny Pickett was targeting him a lot more, especially like earlier in like when he was starting. I'm considering Chigo Okonkwo in this one, especially with Freiermuth also not practicing this week. Oh, he even puts that in there. Yeah, Freiermuth wasn't practicing this week because I had to look at him in the league as well. So
he's off their injury report though. He's good to go.
He is off the report, but.
So is T. Higgins.
I like Chig this week. I think it's good. It could be a good week for him, but I don't know. I don't like Mitch Trubisky with Freiermuth.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Nope. Was there more there? No.
Nope. We're good. Okay, so Okonkwo is the guy that we're being asked about, and now it's him or Komet in full PPR. I'm going to be last on this one. Sully, which one you starting, Okonkwo or Komet?
I have Komet one spot higher in my ranking, so I'll stick with Cole. Bryce?
Man, I really like Cole Komet. I like Cole Komet like long term, but I think Chigo Okonkwo is a guy this week over Komet. I think Justin Fields is going to run a lot today. I don't know.
For me, this is the Komet week. Claypool out. Darnell Mooney out. Who else does Justin throw to? Komet, who's been the best receiver for the past 3 games anyway. So I'm going Komet. I think he's the target leader for the Bears today. I do agree that Fields is going to run, but when your other options are Harry, Pringle, St. Brown, Pettis, Komet's the dude today for the Bears.
Receiving core. I wonder if the receiving core is worse.
That's got to be the worst receiving core in the league. Like, I mean,
maybe Houston last week when they started Chris Moore and Philip Dorsett.
Yeah.
No, I think Chris Moore's still the best wide receiver on that list. Yeah.
So it's Bears are bad. Jesus, that's nasty. Full PPR. Choose a wide receiver and a flex. Van Jefferson, DJ Shark, Chris Moore, Tutu Atwell, Skoranek, Hodgins, Aguilar, Hollins, Woods, Dotson.
Whoa.
Ramondre. There we go.
Ramondre's the one that sticks out. He's in if he's in.
So he's your flex.
Yeah.
I think we agree with that. So now let's answer it if he's not. I think my wide receiver, believe it or not, is Chris Moore with both those guys out again.
Is Nico out too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the flex. I have no idea. If Ramondre's out, I guess I flex. Good Lord.
Okay.
I think I flex Van. Do I? I don't know. You guys go ahead.
Out of the Rams, I'm going Skoranek first because he's the floor play, right? He's the safety blanket right now. So Skoranek's my safe play out of the Rams. Like, I don't know that there's a ton of upside with any of them, so I'd rather go with the targets.
Yeah.
I think I'm going Ramondre and DJ Shark. As much as I don't like Shark, they've got the matchup where it could be bad because
I think that's where Sauce goes.
I feel like you put your best guy, you try to get your best guy on Amon Ra, whatever, as much as you can.
Yeah.
Man, it's so tough.
Sauce doesn't move though. He stays on that
Chris
side,
Moore.
and Amon Ra is going to be in the slot. Like I just think it's a tough day for Shark and everybody else there other than Amon Ra.
Ramondre and Chris Moore, I'm agreeing with you.
Bryce?
It's definitely Ramondre if he's active. That's an easy one. I'm reading like reports. 1 hour ago it said he was in doubt, and then 2 hours ago it says has a good chance to play. So I have no clue, and that sounds about like what New England would do.
Don't you have any insider information there?
No, I have none. It's like impossible to get any insider.
We got to get that old Patriots insider on the phone, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, Bryce, answer the damn question.
I'm going to go DJ Shark because Sauce Gardner stays on one side of the field, and the receivers move all over. I don't think he's going to be on Amon Ra very often, actually, because he winds up in the slot so much. So I'll go DJ Shark Jr. And Ramondre if he's playing. If Ramondre's not playing, I will go Chris Moore as the other guy with DJ.
If you don't find a way to get Sauce on Amon Ra today, you deserve to be fired. As
the dude doesn't move.
When you face this Detroit team, there's no way you cannot try to get him in position to be on Amon Ra.
Sauce is legit, and we've talked about it. He's defensive rookie player of the year. He should probably be in the running for defensive player of the year as well. That said, there's a lot of good components to that Jets defense. I can't remember the dude on the other side. It's like Reed or something. I can't remember his name.
Something like that, yeah.
He's pretty damn good too. So I think that the Jets will be fine. And again, I worry about Goff outside and cold. So we'll see.
Jose says thanks. No,
Jose, problem. I don't think we answered your question.
Yeah, we
had a different answer.
That's the one we skipped and then gave them all a different response.
Should have given us the bird instead of the thumbs up. But anyway, you're very welcome.
PPR, who should I start? Need a flex, AJ Dillon or Cam Akers? Thank you guys. Have a great day. Love the show. Mark, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming by. We've seen you a lot this season, so thank you. Which one are you going with, Sully? AJ
First
Dillon
of all,
or
thank you
Cam
for saying
Akers?
that was Cam Akers because I was trying to
Yeah,
figure out
I had
who
no clue.
Kamarakis was. I was like, is that another tight end? I don't know who he is.
I thought it was like Houston's backup running back.
Right?
I had no clue.
I am going to go with Cam Akers, and I can't believe I'm going to say it, but you can run on the Packers, and I think he gets a legitimate shot to do so. So that's where I'm going. Bryce?
Yeah, he's been getting touches lately. So I can't be mad as someone that has Cam. Well, I can be because it's too late. I didn't make the playoffs in any leagues. I had him, obviously. But it's good to see that he's like getting the ball more, and he actually doesn't look too bad when he doesn't get hit in the backfield. So I will also go Cam Akers, hoping he falls in the end zone like he has the past couple weeks. Rick?
Mark, we all agreed that Cam Akers is the guy. And just so everybody knows, you don't have to ask the question more than once in the chat. We will get to it. We go in order. Unless I skip one, they'll remind me though. Gets a little tough at times. But Dan Madden says PPR pick 2. Saquon, Miles Sanders, Tony Pollard, or the GOAT, Pacheco. It's not him. I can tell you that. It's going to be 2 of the first 3. But I'm very interested in where you guys go with this one. Bryce, which of the 2 are you starting?
I'm not benching Saquon Barkley. The most talented guy out of these 4 by far.
By far.
Yeah, by far. And then, man, I guess I go Miles Sanders. The touchdown upside against the Bears is obviously through the roof. And when they get it inside the 5-yard line, they give it to Miles Sanders like all the time. It's rarely Jalen Hurts takes the ball in, it seems like. So he's got multiple touchdown upside this week. Tony Pollard, I like him as an athlete better than Miles Sanders, but that's a true split backfield there in Dallas. So I'll take Miles Sanders and Saquon Barkley this week. All good options though.
Sully.
So I have Sanders ranked the highest, Pollard next, then Saquon, then Pacheco GOAT. Where I struggle here is this is week 1 of the fantasy playoffs. Saquon Barkley. You took him at the back end of the first round or the early second round. You probably took Miles Sanders in round 5 or 6 and Tony Pollard in round 8 or 9. Saquon's got a brutal matchup, and Saquon has not been good recently. That said, I have a really, really hard time sitting him here. Miles Sanders is the easy start for me of these 4, just with the situation and what Bryce alluded to. And I'll go with Saquon Barkley, even though my gut knows and my head knows that it should be Tony Pollard. So I'm going with Sanders and Saquon.
There's no way I'm sitting Saquon.
Why is there no way though? Like, is it even a consideration for you?
No.
Okay.
Obviously, if there was better options, it would be a consideration. I'm not sitting in for Tony Pollard, is what I'm saying.
But Tony Pollard's been blowing the doors off in points per game over the last month.
That's fine. Saquon is a guy that can win you your week. Like,
so can Tony Pollard. He's been putting up 35 and 40 points.
I don't think we're going to see that this week. I don't know that we're going to see it from Saquon either. But Saquon is a monster, and a couple down weeks. I'm not sitting them. And Miles Sanders, I want to play, like I said, I want to play everybody against the Bears. So Miles Sanders is the easy start here.
Right.
And that's why I wanted you guys to go first, because I wasn't sure if you guys were on board with Miles Sanders. I get it. I get the Tony Pollard love, but I can't sit Saquon again. This is what we got him for. A running back that is, good enough to beat any defense. And put up points against any defense. Whether that has happened the last couple of weeks or not is beside the point, because we know that he does have the talent to do that. I'd be very curious to see what receivers or what flex spots you're starting ahead of any of those 3 guys.
That's a good point.
But I'm going with Saquon and Miles Sanders as well.
It's good to note the Giants are kind of in a must-win situation too, so they got to give them.
They both are. So is their opponent.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
right, and they just played each other like 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, or whenever the hell they played each other. I'm just trying to see what they did here.
I think all Bryce is saying is that they need to get their best player involved in a must-win game.
He's got to have 20 touches. He has to minimum have 20 touches today, upwards to 30. I would imagine.
He's got to start catching the football, and that's the crazy thing with the Giants receiving situation is he's not really getting targets and catches, which I don't understand.
Danny Dimes does not check
what
that ball down.
has happened here? We've got multiple people. Please, please, please. One time we will get to it, I promise. The Joker, Jordan Akins, Cameron Brate, Daniel Bellinger, full PPR. Sully.
This is the kind of crap we like, hey?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll go with Bellinger. I know he's a little bit banged up with ribs and he came back after an eye injury, but he's the best of the three and in the best situation for volume. So I'm going to go with Daniel Bellinger. Bryce?
I agree for all the same reasons you just mentioned.
I agree. Okay, we've had that one.
No, he added DeAndre Swift in there. Need two now. Okay, so I guess that doesn't.
It's Akers and Swift then.
Yeah,
Akers and Swift, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan needs a flex in PPR. Swift or Lazard? Bryce.
I'm going Swift here. I think Christian Watson's taken over as the number one wide receiver for the Packers, and they're going to have to throw the ball and dump it down today to Swift. Hopefully he's more involved in the offense than he was last week. Sully?
Agree for all the same reasons other than the Christian Watson statement.
Christian Watson's definitely the number one right now in Green Bay, so I'm with Bryce on that one, but I'm going Swift as well. Lazard might be the safety blanket. He's definitely not the number one on Green Bay, but I'm going Swift here. I just think they're gonna throw the ball to the running backs a lot today, with that pass defense that the Jets have.
Agree.
Brandon Creasy says Najee or Latavius Murray, and how the F did we get here?
Right?
Bryce?
Yeah, I didn't think Latavius Murray be in a question at all or playing this year. But it's Najee. I think with the emergence of Marlon Mack last week, that we're going to see a little bit more of him in that offense now, maybe potentially like a 50-50 backfield where nobody's really taken that many touches away from Najee. He's been relatively consistent. His ceiling is really low, it seems like, this year, but his floor has been pretty nice these past few weeks. So I'll go Najee. Sully?
Marlon Mack had 3 carries for 15 yards last week, and he caught a Kansas City doesn't give a shit against this screen pass for 65 yards and a touchdown. I don't think. Well, sure, but they didn't even try to tackle him. So, but that said, he's still Marlon Mack, and that's said, this is still Latavius Murray. I know the Cardinals aren't the greatest defense in the world, but I'm going Najee 11 times out of 10 when given this opportunity.
I'm going Najee as well, and I think that the touches between Murray and Mack will be within like 2 or 3 this week. I don't know which one's going to have the most, but I do think there's going to be a gap filled there between the two. Luis Nunez says, good morning, guys. I'm in a full PPR, and I'm deciding between my flex of DJ Shark or Zay Jones.
Boom, let's do it again.
I mean, it's easily Zay Jones this week. It's really easily Zay Jones this week.
Come on, let's bet it again.
But you want Zay Jones this week, right?
I don't know, man. That was too much fun. Zay Jones by a significant amount this week for sure for me.
Yep, Zay Jones. I got to give shout out to Leone. He was all over Zay Jones this preseason, so I got to give him credit.
He was.
You don't
I gave him a lot of shit for it, and he was right. It did turn out to be a good Zay Jones year, the best of his career, and
I like that call too.
Buffalo really used to be the place where wide receivers went to die. You know what I mean? Like,
well, sure.
Buffalo used to kill them all.
Their quarterback situation didn't help, right? For years.
I mean, okay, we won't get into it. Dylan says start one, full PPR. Christian Watson versus the Rams or Pacheco versus Houston. I think we already know where Sully's going, right? You're going Pacheco.
No, I'm going Christian Watson.
Really?
I did earlier in the same situation. I like McKinnon over Pacheco, and Christian Watson is going to score more fantasy points. He's just not going to score 3 freaking touchdowns every week. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, definitely don't expect that. But
no, it's Watson, especially in this scoring format. Pacheco's not a big pass catcher. Watson should be fine. Might even score a touchdown this week.
This one's tough for me because I like both of these guys a lot.
What? Really?
Yeah, man, I've been all over Pacheco this whole offseason. I mean, I liked him like week 3 of the regular season because Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked horrible. I think that you could chalk this up to floor and ceiling, with obviously Christian Watson having the ceiling and Pacheco having a nice floor, because Pacheco's getting 15 carries today. I just see it, and him falling into the end zone today, it seems super likely. So I'm going to go with him as the safer option this week, because Christian Watson, even though I don't think he's going to like bust or anything, it wouldn't surprise me if he did still. So I'll go Pacheco as a safer play. Rick.
See, I love Pacheco to go for over 100 yards today against Houston. Houston's run defense is freaking horrendous, but the problem is that he could run for 100 and get you exactly 10 points.
Exactly.
He's been getting some catches lately.
A couple of games.
Yeah, like 2 or 3, and they look like design passes to him. So
I don't think you can sit Christian Watson right now with the run he's on. You gotta don't get up from the table on a heater, right? Like you stick with your heater. I'm sticking with the heater, and it is gonna come crashing down at some point. I mean, we still get duds from studs that have done it for years, so it's definitely going to be a dud week at some point. But I'm going with Christian Watson and praying. Dacus, I hope I said that right. Non-PPR, DJ Moore, Jacoby Myers, or Elijah Moore. Now, these are the questions right here. Sully.
Who do the Pats play, Bryce?
The Raiders.
I'm going with Jacoby Myers. He's looks like he's cleared and he'll play. Best situation in my opinion, and that's why I'll go there. Bryce?
I'm in the playoffs, and I've got 2 of these guys starting in one of my lineups today, by the way. And it's DJ Moore and Jacoby Meyer. And I will also go Jacoby. I imagine if Matt Patricia wants any sort of job next year, he's going to have to open up that offense at some point. We see Mac Jones frustrated, yelling, "Throw the effing ball" on the sidelines. So I would imagine with Jacoby back, they try and throw it all over this Josh McDaniels weak secondary of the Raiders. So I'll go with Jacoby.
Raiders secondary is
horrible.
I think if Matt Patricia wants a job next year, he has to open the folder with the pictures of Belichick in them, because that's the only reason he's there in the first place.
It's going to be Bill O'Brien next year.
Yeah, could very well be.
I'm going Myers as well.
Good call.
I've said it all year. I can't.
DJ Moore week 2. I just feel it.
DJ Moore is the most talented. I'm not even going to question that. Most talented out of these 3 receivers.
I would argue Jacoby's the least talented out of these receivers.
Well, I think without a doubt, but his situation is the best.
Well, I don't think without a doubt. I think Jacoby Myers is pretty talented, just in a different way. Elijah Moore just has some more big play threat, but I mean,
I think, like
I would like to see Myers.
Jacoby Myers is an undrafted free agent for a reason, right? Like, I'm not saying he's not a good player, but Elijah Moore is a pretty freaking good route runner, and DJ Moore is a really good wide receiver.
Thielen was undrafted, right? But we don't say he was undrafted for a reason.
Jacoby and Adam Thielen are very
numbers. Jacoby Myers in his first 3 years, reception-wise, was up there with some of the best wide receivers we've ever seen. I mean, he's the play today, but I don't think that there's a huge gap between him talent-wise and
I don't think we're insulting Jacoby Myers by saying he's the 3rd best wide receiver on this list.
No, not at all.
Well, you said by far.
I do think it's by far.
I don't.
I think it's close, but I think he is the worst out of these 3.
I could get that. Elijah Moore's got some more, but I mean that dude. He's got his own problems too. Andre says Packers, New Orleans, or Panthers defense. We already talked about it. I'm picking on the rookie and playing defense against one Mr. Desmond Ridder, and that's what I'm doing.
Man,
I kind of want to go with the Panthers here against. I like to throw interceptions, Mitch Trubisky, but I think I'll join Rick and pick on the rookie, who I really like, but he's still a rookie, so I'll go with the Saints.
Man, I think I'm gonna go the Packers against Baker Mayfield. Didn't he throw like 3 or 4 interceptions last year to him? or something crazy. Or the year
I don't
before.
hate that. I do think Baker sold his soul to do what he did last week, so we'll see if he can do it again. And I don't.
Yeah, but Packers don't have the pass rush they had last year either.
Yeah, but I think the interception, I think they have the best chance of getting interceptions really out of all these teams as well. Like, man, he's got nobody to really throw to, and it's Baker Maker, the turnover maker. So,
ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, the turnover maker. Right, whatever.
It's the Ohio hate coming out.
No, I like Baker Mayfield coming out of college. I'm not a big Ohio State fan, remember? I don't care.
What do you? I was talking pro and him being.
I thought you were talking about when he planted the flag in the middle of the field.
Oh no,
he did wait till the team.
All right,
Ohio State left though.
Our defense questions are taking up so much time. Andre also says DJ Shark banged up Ramondre Stevenson or Elijah Moore flex 0.5 PPR. I think we're all going to agree that it's Ramondre if he's playing. And then where do you go after that? Are you taking the shot on Elijah Moore with Zach Wilson at quarterback, or are you taking a shot on DJ Shark and the potential that one Mr. Sauce Gardner could face up with him for 50% or more of the passing plays? Bryce, where are you going with this one?
You got a problem here, and that's that Ramondre Stevenson doesn't play till 4:00, and both of these other players play at 1. It's DJ Chark Jr. if Ramondre doesn't go for me, obviously, but if Pierre Strong is available to be picked up, and you can drop somebody once you find out the decision, I would wait. I would still hold out hope on Ramondre playing. And play him. But if you want to be safe and Pierre Strong's not available, I think you have to put in DJ Shark Jr.
That is some rock solid advice.
Yeah,
I love the way you did that.
I'm in a similar issue. I'm in a similar issue where it's like, but I got Pierre Strong, so it's like I'm putting in Ramondre, and if he doesn't go, I'm putting in Pierre.
I don't know why Rick says you're so shitty at this, because that was really good advice.
I didn't. The crowd did.
Bullshit. Anyway,
the poll said it. I didn't say it. The poll said it.
It's all right.
So it is Ramondre, but Bryce is a good point about time. It is not in your favor here. Now, if I've decided that I'm going to play it safe and I'm going to go between these two wide receivers, I think you have to go with DJ Chark. Like, I'm pretty sure Elijah Moore would punch Zach Wilson in the face if he could get away with it. This is the guy that led to him wanting out and not getting targeted and complaining all earlier in the season. And Chark will move enough to get 2 to 3 catches for 40 to 60 yards, which will probably blow Elijah Moore away. So Ramondre if he goes, Chark if he doesn't.
Okay. Coup in a dome with a new QB, Badgley in the cold versus tough Jets defense. Which kicker are you going with?
Oh, geez, these are kickers.
Yeah.
Who does Coup play for now?
Badgley plays for Detroit. Coup is Atlanta.
Oh, he's Atlanta. They re-signed him. Didn't they cut him earlier in the year and then re-sign him?
I don't know. I'm going with Atlanta's kicker all day inside versus a kicker outside in New York.
Yeah,
I have no leagues with kicker. Well, I do.
Scotty Fish. You're still alive, I see.
I'm still alive, and I have Mr. Josh Allen. So yesterday was pretty good.
Oh, now good
boy. Good job.
Young Goku.
Mark says, just want to apologize, guys. I should have asked my second question the first time. Hope you guys have a good Sunday. Oh, man, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. We like to keep the chat flowing, and it kind of gets us off if we put up the same question. Did we do this one already? I'm pretty sure we answered one for Tyler. I don't know if we did this one.
I don't think so.
This doesn't look familiar.
Nope, his was Kirk, Juju, and Bam. I'm going T. Higgins. I'm not getting away from T. Higgins. I understand the worry from last week, but I'm going T. Higgins. Bryce.
It's start 2. Who would be the other guy?
Swift. T. Higgins and Swift. It's pretty easy for me.
I think it's T. Higgins and Rashad White for me.
I'm with Rick. I'm really mad at T. Higgins, like really mad, but it is what it is. Swift and Higgins for me.
Got to take the personal out of it, Sully.
I don't have to do anything. I gave what I believe was the best advice, and I also am still very mad at T. Higgins. Not as much as Zach Taylor.
Well, yeah, but you did. You took the personal out of it.
Zach Taylor's an asshole. James Robinson's out, if that means anything to anyone.
It doesn't. Dynasty League. So I've got Jamar, Amon-Ra, Diggs, Keenan Allen at wide receiver and other flex spots, along with Eckler at other running back spots if it changes the Sanders Saquon pick.
Oh, so that's why he's got one of those guys in the flex.
Yes, it does. It does change it for me. I'm absolutely benching Saquon now that I know that's the rest of your lineup. So I will go with
That gives me more reason to use Saquon.
Yes.
Well, I don't. I think I need floor. I don't need ceiling with this lineup. So I'll take the floor play of. I don't even remember who the hell the other one was.
Tony Pollard.
He starts something. He doesn't even remember who it is.
No. But I knew it was close for me.
Oh, no, there's no way. The floor play for me is still Saquon with 20+ touch-ups. I mean, he's got it.
Yeah,
I don't see that at all.
I think the floor out of all these guys is
all right. $5, Tony Pollard versus Saquon Barkley. Who's in?
Freaking easy.
I'm in.
Oh my God.
Another $10 for the Canadian. This is a good day.
I would actually, and hear me out here. I might sit Keenan Allen and get Tony Pollard in there and get all 3 running backs in there.
Yeah, I would do that.
Why? I wouldn't do that. Because you throw all day against Tennessee, it's struggled to run.
Well, I agree, but you've also got other receivers there. But
you see how many targets Keenan Allen has had in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah,
you just talked about how good Tony Pollard is. 40 points.
What's that got to do with Keenan Allen?
That's who we're putting in over him.
You're putting Tony Pollard in over Keenan Allen? I could see that. He's a good call.
Yeah.
But why would I do that when I could sit Saquon and start Keenan over him? I'll double up my bet. I'll go Keenan Allen over Saquon Barkley too.
I'll do that too.
Okay, I'm in.
Gosh, I'm going to retire by the end of this week.
Because you're broke?
Yep. Yep.
Paying these American dollars.
This is a lot. This is the most $5 bets we had in 1 week, I think.
It's good. It's playoffs. Let's make it rain.
Our boy Dacus is back here with a full PPR question. Rashad White, Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay, so it's a 2-part.
So it's White versus Stevenson. I think we all agree that it's Stevenson if he's playing. Tampa Bay plays at 4-2 as well, right?
I believe so. So time does not affect.
They do. They play Cincinnati at home.
You'll be able to choose between those two. So it's Stevenson if he plays, White if he doesn't, and then Olave or Higgins. I'm going to Olave on this one against Atlanta.
Yes.
Probably.
Even without the dud for Higgins, like I just feel like Olave is clearly the guy for the Saints in the passing game. Been super solid. Do you guys agree he should probably be the rookie of the year this year? He's been the one that has been consistent.
Olave,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how. I don't know who else would be.
Damian Pierce would be in there.
Yes, he would.
Garrett Wilson could sneak into that conversation if he keeps doing what he's been doing the last couple of weeks.
He could. But to Rick's point, Olave's done it from week 1 to now.
Yeah,
he's tailed off a little bit lately.
Yeah.
That's Andy Dalton.
I was going to say, because Andy Dalton's realized he's Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton is still Andy Dalton today. But I'm with you, Rick. I think, the first one we figured out, right? It's Stevenson if he goes. If it's not, then that's easy. But I'm going to go Olave over Higgins here. No hatred aside. I just think Olave's he's legit. 3 or 4 catches, big plays too, right? He makes big plays.
Good.
So
he's good.
He's got burned.
I was so wrong about him.
He was my second favorite receiver coming out of college. So
I was so wrong.
This receiver class was stacked though.
Stacked.
Really good. Even better than we thought.
Drake.
It's been a while.
Mine was Garrett Wilson, then Drake London, then Olave, Jamison, Williams, like right there next to each other. Those were my top 4, and they were. I mean, I thought there was a gap with Wilson in London, and then a little bit of a gap between everybody else, but all of them been pretty good. And even second round guys, Jahan Dotson has showed well. Christian Watson, obviously a monster over the last month and a half. Mega Brick wants to know, start Daniel Jones or Trevor Lawrence. Opponent has Dallas defense. So where are you going with this one, Sully?
I think it's an interesting question. And I think initially then the easy answer is to say Trevor Lawrence based on how he's been playing. And I do have him, I'm just pulling up my rankings. I do have him in the top 10 this week. I just think it's a volume play. Trevor Lawrence is playing really well. Daniel Jones is interesting because he's going to run and he's going to be forced to run by that Washington pass rush. I don't think it's a horrible play, but I'll go Trevor Lawrence here kind of comfortably. Bryce?
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is on absolute fire, looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm
looking like who we thought he was going to be, right?
He's looking amazing with guys that are good, but like I can't wait to see with him if Calvin Ridley can get back into what he used to be. That could be a nasty offense next year. Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Yeah, it's either that or the Jags for so long have kind of been that team that is like collect all the wide receiver 2s and 3s and then see what happens. And that's kind of what they did this year, but it's worked out as he's progressed through the season. And I think I'm wondering if some of the Fields talk kind of fired him up, because there was a lot of people there before Trevor Lawrence started his hot streak talking about, was Justin Fields the number 1 quarterback in the 2021 class? And
been a roller coaster.
That whole thing is, but him and Lawrence, the guys that have been 1 and 2 since high school and until the actual NFL draft, when it went in a different order, have looked great out of that rookie class over the last 2 months. So it's exciting that we didn't get a full draft of busts, because there were times this season where we were kind of wondering, did we get 5 first-round busts? We thought Zappy was taking the job from Mac Jones. Haven't been able to see Trey Lance on the field very much. And then Zach Wilson looking like duty sauce, Trevor Lawrence looking like duty, Fields looking like duty. And now Trevor Lawrence and Fields have seemed to have taken the step. Did we answer the question? We talked about a lot of shit. I'm starting Trevor Lawrence.
We did. I don't know if you did, though.
I'm starting Trevor Lawrence as well. What's good, gents? Mac Jones or Aaron Rodgers and Ramondre or Christian Watson? Full PPR. Thanks, fellas. This is for Ronnie. Bryce, why don't you go ahead? There's some Patriots in here. What are you doing with the Patriots?
It's not Mac Jones. That's not your answer. It's Aaron Rodgers rather easily. And then you don't have to worry about time because Green Bay plays tomorrow. So if Ramondre is playing, I am putting in Ramondre over Christian Watson.
Sully.
Aaron Jones and Ramondre, but I really am concerned about their
Aaron Rodgers, I think he meant.
Sorry. I wish I had Aaron Jones on this list because I like to start him. Aaron Rodgers, without question, and Ramondre with a lot of question, because I am concerned that the Patriots go with a 3-headed attack here, but I think Ramondre we've seen him do it all year long. He's just really good. So as long as he can go, he's in my lineup.
It is. Ramondre is definitely the one on that side for me. I don't think that the Mac Jones, Aaron Rodgers is as crazy. And just to kind of, I'm starting Daniel Jones and Jared Goff over Aaron Rodgers in the league this week.
Oh, yeah, I would too. But
I like Rodgers a lot.
Aaron Rodgers has not been that good. What I'm doing here is I'm actually, damn it. PPO.
I have Jones and Goff both behind Rodgers this week.
I bet Rodgers
is in a good spot.
40-plus weeks than Mac. I think Mac has 1 20-plus fantasy week this entire season.
Against Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm looking over the past 3 weeks is what I'm looking at here. So just so everybody knows, over the last 3 weeks, Mr. Trevor Lawrence is the QB2 over the last 3 weeks.
Behind Hurts?
Yeah, behind Hurts. Yep. Where Mac Jones, and let me see here just in case Rodgers had a bye. So Rodgers over the last 2 games has averaged 12.59 points, whereas Mac Jones has averaged 14.69.
He only played half of that one game though, didn't he?
Mac?
Oh, Rodgers did.
Rodgers.
Love came in for that one. I went back another week. Even going with the week before, Rodgers in his last 3 games, 14.75 versus 13.56 for Mac Jones. So I just think it's really close. I am probably going Rodgers here because we know New England could just, throw the ball 18 times and Rodgers is still going to throw the ball. But I do think that matchup is closer than it appears by name.
I don't think you yell throw the effing ball at your offensive coordinator if you're playing well. Aaron Jones or Aaron, what's the matter with me? Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers as much as
Aaron Rodgers yells at his offensive coordinator.
But Aaron Rodgers also has 3 MVPs in a Super Bowl and arguably the worst playoff starting record ever. That said, Mac Jones has none of that, but he also has a shitty defensive coordinator as his OC.
Well,
Pro Bowl
experience.
Mitch Trubisky has Pro Bowl experience. Who cares?
I'm just kidding. He shouldn't have been in there.
Full PPR, start 3. DJ Moore, Deonta Foreman, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Shark, Alan Lazard, Christian Kirk. My starting running backs are Mixon and Jacobs. That's a good match. That's a good duo you've got there. I'm starting Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, that's easy. Man.
I'm starting
I gotta look at my.
Well,
I'm starting
Pittsburgh
Alan
good?
Lazard.
Is that Bryce?
Is Pittsburgh good against the run this year?
They're not good against much.
I'm going
They're
with
okay.
Judy, Lazard, and Kirk is where I'm going with this. Judy, Lazard, and Kirk. That's great. I know people are going to be like, TJ Moore, but
I'm going Judy, Kirk, and Foreman.
That's
I
where
gotta
I want to
ask,
go.
why are you going Foreman though? Like,
Foreman
you don't
got
get any
over
catches.
20 touches last week, correct?
Yeah, but look what Chuba
but
did
look what
too.
he did. He got like 8.5 points or something. I had him in my DFS lineups, and
look at what Chuba did too. And Chuba's getting the passing work, right? So,
how many carries did Chuba get?
Chuba had like 20 touches, I think, last week.
Did he? Geez,
Yeah,
so they had 40 touches between the two of them.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, right? They want to just run the ball because they just want to keep it close.
Chuba got 17 touches to his 22.
I'm going
same rushing yards.
I think Judy and Kirk are the easy two. And I will go with I hate it, but I'm going to go Alan Lazard as well.
I mean, Alan Lazard has scored double digits in all but 3 games this year.
Yeah, and that's probably why I'm going to go that way. Plus, if I had to, an anytime touchdown bet at all these guys, Lazard would probably be that guy too. So he's a big guy in the red zone. Rodgers will find him. So yeah, that's my trio.
Yeah, he's just a safe play, and that's where I'm kind of.
I don't like it, but it is.
The rest of them are real risky, right? But Alan Lazard is the safe one out of this group.
I think Christian Kirk is as well.
Do what?
Deonta Foreman against Alan Lazard?
I'll take Alan Lazard all day, every day. Deonta Foreman is going to have to get either 125 plus yards rushing or, 65 and a touchdown. And that team probably has the least amount of touchdown upside out of all of these.
They're playing a weak defense this week.
They're a weak offense.
Well, their touchdown upside is now neutral.
It's funny. It's funny when the defense is saying the same exact thing about the offense that you're saying about the defense that they're playing. People that want to play that defense are going, they're playing a weak offense, and you're going, the offense is playing a weak defense, and we're probably going to get a shootout now.
Probably.
Damian says, good morning, guys. Non-PPR league need a running back 1, a running back, and a running back 2. I have Mixon, Connor, Pacheco. Thank you. It's Mixon and Connor really easily for me. Sully, where are you going there?
Trying to remember who was on the list when I sat Connor earlier. And I don't want to contradict myself.
You never started Pacheco, so I can tell you that you did not start Pacheco over Connor.
And I was just going to say, I don't want to contradict myself, but I'm going Mixon and Connor here as well.
It was Zeke, Bam Knight, and Connor. That's who.
Yeah, there you go. That was cutting edge advice.
It's easily Mixon and Connor for me.
I think so.
Yep. Rashad White or Zonovan Knight? I'm going Zonovan Knight.
Bam.
I will also go Zonovan Knight.
Zonovan Knight times 3. Do you think KJ Osborne is a good pickup for 2023? Sully will tell you that I was telling you in 2021 that KJ Osborne was a good pickup in dynasty leagues.
And what was I telling you? I was telling you were nuts. I'm like, you're insane. I saw this question, so I looked up his contract, and he is under contract next season.
Is Thielen? Because that's the question, is when can Osborne become the number 2? Because I think he's definitely good enough to be the number 2 in this offense.
It's time. And I think we've started to see that transition happening. Thielen will always be a guy that Kirk trusts in the red zone, and we saw that yesterday. But KJ Osborne showed us, and this isn't reacting to what he did yesterday at a career game, but he shows us what he can do in important situations. Like he converted, I think, half of their third downs for them yesterday. They used him on jet sweeps. He's incredibly athletic. He just about had a 65-yard diving catch that almost was a catch. I think he's potentially their number 2 wide receiver. And I think the biggest and best thing about that crazy comeback for Minnesota yesterday was Kevin O'Connell realized that it can't just be 45 targets to Justin Jefferson, that he's got to mix it up a little bit in the offense. And KJ Osborne is that mix-up. So absolutely, he's a good pickup, and I do think he's our number 2 wide receiver going forward.
Bryce.
Yeah, I like him. Seems like he's taking over that Adam Thielen role. Liked his usage last week. I like him on my dynasty rosters for sure.
Damien says, I also have Dallas Goedert as my tight end 1 in non-PPR, but he isn't playing, so I picked up Okonkwo off the waiver wire this week. Is he good streaming tight end this week? Yes, we all agree that he is a good streaming tight end this week. And if you don't have good options, then I feel fine putting him in there.
Absolutely.
Frank says Pacheco or Connor in a PPR league. We are all going Connor. We did have them two in a question just a minute ago, and we are all going with Connor there. Over on Facebook, Pollard by a country mile over Saquon. I don't know who that is, but
let's find out. It's probably. I hope it's Joe Kidder. Oh, I hope it's Joe
the Canadian is retiring off of us today.
I don't know who this is, but they're smart as hell. I have a feeling. I have a feeling I knew who it is.
It's probably that guy that's a Bengals fan.
I think it's the other Canadian. I think it might be the other Canadian.
I feel like the way they said the Canadian,
yeah, that's
makes
fair.
them not Canadian, but I could be wrong.
We don't know how to talk anyway. It doesn't matter. I can't say Atlanta Falcons, so.
But I could be.
See, I can't even find it.
Come on, Bryce, be better.
There's multiple groups that we're in streaming to on Facebook. So
I looked at two of them. I can't find it.
Which ones did you look at? Did you look at the redraft?
I am in the redraft one, I think. Or no, I'm on the Roto Heat one, and then I don't know what the other one I looked at.
Let's look at.
I see one that has 7 comments, and the other one had 1 comment.
Roto Heat redraft. I'll look in there. Go ahead. Why don't you get this one started, Sully? And I'm going to see if I can find who this is over here.
I'm going to start Pollard, Barkley, and Mixon of these 3. So Josh is asking us Survivor League, half PPR, start 3, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, or Joe Mixon. And I will sit. What did I say? This is hard to host, man. How do you do this crap? I will go with Pollard, Barkley, and Mixon. Sorry, I'm sitting Kamara. Bryce?
I will also sit Kamara out of these 4 options.
That's Jeffrey Jacobs over there on.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. He's smart dude.
He dropped his Twitter handle. I like it. It's down here somewhere. Go follow Jeffrey Jacobs over there on Twitter. Alpha Male JMJ.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Self-proclaimed alpha male.
Yeah, anybody that self-proclaims alpha male is beta for sure. Josh, love you, Jeff. Jeff's been a fan, I think, since the beginning, since we started this thing. So appreciate you for tuning in, Jeff. Josh, so Sully, what did you go with here? Just remind me while I was looking that up, please.
I'm sitting Kamara.
We both sat Kamara.
I'm going to go with the awesome Tony Pollard over the not as good Saquon Barkley.
I can get on board with this.
Kamara's not been good this year. I don't care what anybody says.
Hey guys, should I start Pollard or Connor for today? Thank you. Alec wants to know here. You're sitting Connor for sure, right?
Yep, without question. Tony Pollard's my 9th ranked running back this week, so Connor's on the bench.
Bryce.
James Conner's a league winner. I'm not sitting him. He's getting like 20 to 25 touches a week. He's getting just as much PPR work as Pollard and getting more carries. I'm starting James Conner.
That offense has changed a lot, Bryce.
Huh?
That offense has changed.
I think they rely on Connor more than they did before. I'm going Connor as well, but I do think this one is really, really close. I do think it could go either way. But I am going Connor with him just being the back. Nobody else gets work. And
nobody. I don't even know what the backup is.
It's Ingram.
There you go.
Keontae Ingram.
MVS or Duvernay, full PPR for a friend, not my league. I like how he gives us one of the questions we like, and then he immediately says it's for a friend. This is not my decision. This is not for me.
Well, I have a question. How many points did Duvernay get yesterday? Because that's going to affect my answer.
Yeah, it's got to be MVS.
It's MVS.
Duvernay already played.
Did he do anything?
No, he dropped the touchdown. I know that.
Did he catch any? Did he get anything? Because he might still be the answer.
Michael Carter or Okonkwo in my flex today, trying to hurt my pick that I traded away.
He did not get a catch.
Okay, I'll go with
okay. So if I'm thinking this right, okay,
So is he trying to lose?
No. He's trying to hurt the pick that he traded away, which he wants to make that pick worse, so he needs to win, right?
Correct.
Oh, I get it. Sorry. I thought he was playing.
I thought the same thing at first.
I thought he was playing against the guy who had his pick. So
I had to run it through. There. I think with the emergence of Bam Knight that Okonkwo might be the play here.
I don't disagree. This is super close for me. Like,
and just to point this out too, we've got the Chargers versus the Titans. We know that the Titans cannot stop the pass, and we know that the Chargers are really good at the pass. So we could see a lot of points there, and Titans needing to throw the ball more. And the benefit for Okonkwo today is it looks like Derwin James, the all-world safety for the Chargers, is doubtful. He might be ruled out at this point, which is a big plus for Okonkwo if Derwin James is not in there for the Chargers.
The flip side to that is the Chargers are pretty brutal against the run, and I think the Titans are going to try to ram Derrick Henry down their throat. So you're right. That game could go either way. I think I'm going to go with Michael Carter here. Chig is still a tight end, and unless they score, for the most part, they're not great, right? So if Michael Carter can get to 9 or 10 PPR points, I think he's probably right around where Chig probably is. So it's tough. Man, I don't know. Maybe Michael Carter isn't. Maybe it's Ty Johnson instead of Michael Carter. I don't know.
Michael Carter scored 3 points last week in his return with Knight in the back, which obviously doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be, but he had 5 rushing attempts.
Did he have any targets?
He did have 6 targets. He caught 3 of 6 targets for 15 yards. He did fumble, so it would have been let's see, PPR.
Wilson doesn't really check down, right, Zach?
He did last year to Michael Carter.
Yeah, Michael Carter caught a lot last year.
He caught a lot of balls last year, especially late in the season.
Because I remember Michael Carter going crazy when Mike White got in last year. I didn't remember him doing it with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, he caught a lot of balls.
Well, we can say this. So Zach Wilson started at the beginning of the year. Michael Carter went 9, 5, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 7, 1 on the targets. And I believe that was all week 9, right? Up until week 9. So I think Wilson started from 3 on, right? Flacco did the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or was it 4?
No, 4. You're right. It was 4 because he had his little knee thing going on.
So, okay, what weeks did Zach Wilson start? We're going to narrow this down real quick.
I think he's played like 4 times this year.
Well, I know, but I need to know which weeks to
find out. He started at week 4 and then he got benched. So it's not, you don't have to build a rocket to figure that out.
What? I need to know which weeks he started.
Week 5. Let me pull it up for you. And then he played
5 to 9? 5 through 9.
I will confirm.
Or 5 through 8.
I'm going to let you know right now. I thought it was 5 through 9, but I could be wrong. That happens a lot.
And then Bryce Hall.
Yeah, that's the other factor.
This is important. Sorry if
Wilson started in week 4, played 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and
part of 10.
He's played 7 games this year.
Okay, so
he got benched after the New England game where they couldn't score. So he's played and he's started in 7 times this year.
Okay.
From weeks 4 through 11.
Okay, so in 4 through 7 for Bryce Hall, he received 6, 2, 2, and 0 targets in those games, which he obviously left early. in the one where he was hurt against Denver. So there's 10 targets in 4 weeks for Breece Hall in that stretch, and Michael Carter in that stretch 4 through 7 would have been 3, 2, 1, and 2. But then he had 7 in week 8 without Breece Hall. So I'm going. I want to go Chig here. I just don't know that there's going to be enough work for Michael Carter.
I'm going to roll with Carter, but I wouldn't bet a nickel on this, and I don't disagree with what you're saying at all.
I'm going to Okonkwo.
I wouldn't bet on it either, but just looking at the usage for Mr. Michael Carter, I mean, he's only had double-digit carries twice since week 7.
Yeah, I don't
in
disagree.
5 games, and he did have it 3 out of the first 6 games, but only 2 out of the last 5. Okay, we got to get on, right? Perry Williams says running back number 2, ETN, Jamal Williams, Stevenson, Pierre Strong, flex Smitty, London, or a running back you didn't play. I think we're all going to agree that since you have Pierre Strong, you're going Stevenson.
Yeah.
And you've got the swap there, and then you've got Smitty.
Is that Devontae Smith?
If that's Devonta Smith, then it's easily him. There's no question. Like,
I can't think of what other Smith it would be. So yes,
Devonta Smith, yes, absolutely. Stevenson and Smith.
Perry, if it's some other rando Smith that we don't know of, let us know. But that's where we're going.
Oh, he does say down here flex 2. So Smitty and
I'm gonna go with London. He's been getting their targets, and early they don't throw a ton, but he's the one that's getting the targets.
I will too. It's between him and ETN for me, but I will go with London, Smitty, and Stevenson.
I just don't trust ETN right now.
Yeah,
That's why I was trying to look at his numbers recently. I mean, he's getting a decent amount of touches, but not really anything in the receiving game. I'll go the same.
Luke says sit 1, Judy Foreman, Rashad White, DeAndre Swift. Sully.
I'm going to sit Foreman.
Yeah, I'm sitting Foreman easily out of these guys.
I'm sitting Foreman as well. That was half PPR if that changes anything for you.
It doesn't.
Yeah, he did change that.
Doesn't change my answer either.
It does make it a little bit closer for Foreman since that's his big hiccup, but it's not enough to change it for me either. Pick one to bench: Kamara, Barkley, or Pacheco. Non PPR. This is Pacheco for me. Bryce.
Really don't like to bench Pacheco this week. I'm not going to. I'm gonna bench Alvin Kamara. Ugh.
Wow. I'm on record as saying McKinnon's the better back to start this week, so I will sit Pacheco, and I'll happily bet you $5 over him and Kamara if you'd like.
Sure. Might as well.
Nice.
I don't like it. I don't like that one.
Jeff Field says, this guy really wanted me to ask you guys a question, and he didn't even know what day Duvernay played. Bruh. Dacus is back. Evan Ingram or Darren Waller? Bryce.
Give me Evan Ingram. Give me Evan Ingram this week. I like the matchup because I really think Christian Kirk could be taken away. That just leaves the same potential that he had last week. Him and Zay Jones could have big weeks. Big week this week. Sully.
Welcome back, Darren Waller. I'm going Evan Ingram. I think it's easy to get caught up on name recognition at times, and Darren Waller was not performing before he got hurt. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders offense, but Evan Ingram is on a heater. Like Rick said earlier, don't walk away from the table when you're on a heater. So I'm all in.
The volume was there even before the fantasy points. That's why I was pumping him up so much. The volume was there. He was getting targets. We just needed that connection to grow. With them getting on the same page, and it has happened. I'm going Evan Ingram as well, but I do think the Raiders need Darren Waller, and they needed Hunter Renfrow as well. And those guys being back, we might see an uptick with the offense, but I'm not sitting Evan Ingram right now.
That's a huge playoff implication matchup too, hey? That Raiders-Patriots game? Massive.
Is Dulcich that much better of a play over Komet, being that Wilson is out? I'm still going Komet over Dulcich myself, so I do not think so. But Bryce, what are you thinking here with Dulcich and Komet?
Both tight ends are in a decent spot to get a decent amount of volume today with wide receivers being out. Obviously, there's more wide receivers out with Chicago, but they also throw less. And I think that's what they'll throw less today.
No, they won't. They have to throw today. They're playing the Eagles. The Eagles are going to score 45 points. The Bears are going to have to throw.
It wouldn't surprise me to see Justin Fields get almost 200 rushing yards today. It wouldn't surprise me.
They're going to have to throw the ball more today. It's not a typical volume day.
I just don't think there's going to be anybody open to throw to. Like that's just what I think it'll be. Like he might drop back to go throw, and then he's going to have to run it. So I'll go with Dulcich, just because defenses, I guess, have to focus on Jerry Jeudy, where I don't think they have to worry about anybody besides Cole Kmet today.
Sully.
It's an interesting one, and I know you're not a big matchups guy, but I'm going to go with the tight end playing against the 32nd ranked defense against the tight end position. And
give me a $50 bet Kmet over Dulcich.
I'm not doing no 50.
Oh, hey, settle down, man. You know how much I get paid around here.
This is just so clear for me. Kmet has been balling out already. All the receivers out. It's so easily him for me.
I don't really like betting on this one because I like Kmet a lot.
The only reason I like Cole Kmet to a certain degree is that garbage time points still count, and he could easily have in the last 2 drives 8 to 10 catches because that's the only guy to throw to, and the Eagles have stopped playing defense. But I just think Dulcich is the guy to go with here. So I'm not going to bet you $50 or anything like that, and I wouldn't be surprised. 5. Oh, I'll do 5. I've taken probably taken about $30. I've taken about $30 off you already this week, so I might as well bet 5 more.
Dude, you're losing so much; it's not even funny.
Not even close. Bryce, you keeping track of all this shit?
I got all of it written down over here.
I had to do it for 2 weeks, and it was hard, and I only made 4 or 5 bets.
all of Canada is filing bankruptcy after the day of football for Sully.
Canada's close to bankruptcy without Sully's help, so don't worry about that.
The tipping point. Juju or DJ Moore, half PPR. We're all going Juju over DJ Moore, right? Anybody going DJ Moore over Juju?
No,
I don't think so, but I could see it.
Week it is, but I just can't. He hadn't done it consistently like Juju has, so I can't do it. Just a gut feeling.
It's Juju, but I wouldn't even be remotely surprised if DJ Moore scores more.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either, but I've got to rely on the offense here that's going to actually produce, that we know is going to produce, and I can't go to the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold and rely on that in the playoffs. I just can't do it. Marco from the future says, good afternoon from the future.
I have a bone to pick with Marco from the future, but please continue.
I don't know why Marco asks us questions instead of giving us the answers to the test. That would be so much better being from the future and all. But he wants to know, Chris Moore or Scrotum, half PPR. That is Koronic. Just to remind everybody, Bryce, are you starting Chris Moore or Scrotum this week?
I guess Chris Moore. I mean, are both these guys their team's number 1 wide receiver? No, Van Jefferson is probably the number 1 wide receiver for them.
I don't know.
Debatable.
Scrotum's been getting the targets. I mean, Van Jefferson's more of a deep threat red zone target, but
I guess Chris Moore, they're going against the Chiefs. I'd imagine whoever's back there throwing the ball has got to throw it 35 plus times today. Gives him more opportunities to get some catches, where the Rams could try and control the clock using the run game if they have a run game. Sully?
I don't think the Rams give a shit if they win or lose, to be totally honest at this point. And I think Baker's just going to go ball out because he's playing with house money, right? He's just going to go fire it around all over the place. But we saw what Chris Moore did last Sunday, and Rick and I talked about it last Sunday, that if he's the only option in that offense, they got to throw the ball to somebody. And we've seen Chris Moore do it before, I think a couple of years ago as well in a similar situation. So I'm Chris Moore all day long here. And Marco from the future, Rick and I sat here last week, and we talked through my guillotine lineup, and you didn't say shit. And you're from the future, and I got eliminated. So thank you for being here, but I'm mad at you.
I was reading. I'm getting DMs. It's Chris Moore for me.
Okay.
It's Chris Moore. I think he's got a lower floor, but I think that he's got a way bigger upside. And
touchdown call back last week too. He should have had a monster game.
It still didn't save me. I picked him up while on stream, and
I know you did.
And threw.
And I was mad that
lineup.
you did because I could use that guy right now because I'm about to get bounced in that league.
And he was my number one producer last week. I picked him up an hour before the game started in Dynasty. Like that happens in redraft, not in Dynasty. Reed says Broncos or Eagles D. Sully.
I'm taking the Eagles here. I don't. No, Eagles for sure.
Yeah, it's harder to sack Justin Fields with him being probably the best running quarterback in the league now at this point. But when he does sit back there to go try and just pocket pass, the offensive line can't hold up. And he does get sacked. So I'll take the Eagles defense.
James Conner's going to shred the Broncos, right?
I knew
right?
You'd say something.
Like you guys are all James Conner is the greatest thing ever. So
James Conner could get 20 carries for 80 yards, 5 catches for 40 yards, and he's got you a decent win fall in the end zone. And he's got.
You're right.
I feel like Brett Ripien is more apt to throwing pick sixes, and that's where we really get the points. I mean, Justin Fields, he does throw interceptions at the end in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. But
Brett Ripien plays for the Broncos.
I meant Colt McCoy.
Oh, sorry.
I was thinking both of them, though. I was thinking the matchup on both of those sides. And
Brett Rippen's so bad, he's going to throw pick six to his own defense in this one.
Colt McCoy, I mean, because they're Arizona's still going to throw the ball a lot, right? Like they're not just going to run the ball, and they're going to throw the ball a lot. I'm going with Broncos D. They're really good as well. Eagles D's really good as well, but the Bears haven't been like the turnover team. They're just they've scored points. They just give up a bajillion points. So Fields does throw an interception late, but he's not throwing like pick sixes and fumble returns for touchdowns. That's where you get the real points from. I think that's more likely from the Colt McCoy side. But it is tough. Both of them are good defenses, though. Full PPR flex. Mike Evans, James Conner, Pacheco, Knight, ETN. FYI, I'm projected to lose 109 to 116. If I win this week, I'm in the playoffs. Lose, and it's a 3-way tie for that finals playoff spot. So he needs a little bit of upside here. Where are you going with this, Sully?
Well, first of all, we know this is an important question because he's asking it for himself and not one of his friends.
And he knows that they all play later.
I've been kind of crapping on James Conner all day, but he's got to be in your lineup here. Evans, Conner, Pacheco, 90-10. I think I'm going Bam and Conner.
Is it 2?
Is it 2 or is it 1?
Full PPR flex.
Oh, just 1? Then it's my pick is James Conner. Bryce?
Yep, it's James Conner for me.
James Conner for me as well.
Who would your second one be? Would it be Bam?
Would be Knight. It would be Knight for me.
Yeah, I know.
It would be Knight for me as well.
I like it. Good
Pacheco,
stuff,
Knight, Christian Watson for Ronnie. Bryce.
I think I had Pacheco and Christian Watson earlier, and I went Pacheco, but I'm gonna go Zonovan. I'm gonna go Zonovan Knight over both of these guys.
Sully.
I had Watson over Pacheco. I've been pooping on Christian Watson all day, but I think I got to stick with him here over Bam.
I'm going Knight. I'm going Bam Knight here. I'll take 15 carries and the targets there.
Yep.
That's fair.
Dallas D versus Jacksonville or Kansas City D versus Houston with no Pierce, leaning KC by a mile, but the Dallas D has been insane this year. Bryce.
Dallas obviously has the better chance for sacks and interceptions probably, but you also get points for holding teams to no yards and no touchdowns, which Houston could potentially not score at all today. Or they could have a week like they did against Dallas last week and somehow score 21. Well, with that being said, I'll still start the Kansas City defense. Their pass rushers aren't too bad, so maybe they can get a couple sacks in there. Where I could see Jacksonville scoring 28 plus points today, and potentially getting your defense negative points if Dallas doesn't get any sacks or interceptions. Sully.
I'm taking Kansas City's defense here by a pretty wide margin. They have a good enough pass rush, and we're still going to see a rotation here of Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll. So that is what it is. The pick opportunity for picks is there. The opportunity for strip sacks is there, for sacks, for everything, and for shutouts. So I will take Kansas City. Rick?
I'll go Kansas City here, but I do think it's really, really close because I don't really care if the defense gives up points. I want a team that's throwing the ball more. If Dameon Pierce was in here, we may have seen more running. So that is really the difference maker with him being out and them not having that bruiser that can get you 20 carries. That's the difference for me with that. Dallas is just good enough. They'll take the ball away from anybody. And sacks and everything. So I do think it's close, but I do agree. I would rather take my shots against Mills and Driscoll in that matchup. Rockout says PPR 1 running back, 2 flex. Swift, B-Rob, Pacheco, Zay Jones, Chris Moore.
1 running back, 2 flex.
I'm going Swift at running back. Zay Jones and Chris Moore. Swift, Jones, and Moore for me. Bryce, where you go?
Swift, Pacheco, and Zay Jones for me.
Swift, Brian Robinson, Chris Moore.
Wait. You're not playing Zay Jones here?
No. I think the Giants defense is easy to run on, and Brian Robinson's been really, really good the last couple of weeks. So, and I think I like Chris Moore's opportunity for volume. No, I'll go Zay. You're right. Swift, B-Rob, and Zay.
Yeah, I just thought Swift and Zay were like up there, and then all the rest of them fit in like down here. Yeah,
I'm just not on the Pacheco train this week, and I know it's a good matchup. It's just something there.
Big Trev says
money if you're wrong.
Whatever.
Higgins, Rashad White, or Ramondre,
I guess.
Ramondre. Full PPR flex spot. I'm going Ramondre, but Rashad White is 4:00, so you're good. I'm going Ramondre. All of them 4. I'm going Ramondre.
Yeah, Rashad and Higgins play each other. Their teams play each other. Yeah, it's Ramondre for me as well if he's suiting up and good to go. But if there's any reports that he's on a snap count or limited, I'm going to go with Higgins.
So say the same thing. So I am Ramondre as well, but like for the 400th time, I'm still concerned that that's a 3-headed monster today. But I will still go with Ramondre. And Higgins, despite my personal beef with him, is ahead of Rashad White as well.
Agree. In my future, you won your matchup by 83 points.
Your future's effed. Let's put it that way.
Different universe we've got going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong
Pick
side.
2, Zay Jones, Tyler Boyd, George Pickens, Darius Slayton, full PPR. Sully, I see you nodding your head. Which 2 you going with?
I'm going to go Zay Jones and Darius Slayton. Bryce?
Zay Jones is the easy one. Let me look at George Pickens recently.
Remember who's
I'm agreeing with Sully here. I'm going Jones and Slayton. So
Trubisky doesn't like Pickens.
Pickens came off the field. I mean, again, like Mac Jones, throw me the effing ball, and I think they're going to do it this week. I have a good feeling about George Pickens getting in the end zone this week. So
you have a very good George Pickens track record on this show as well.
Yeah, I didn't like him. The last 2 weeks. He did okay last week, but I just didn't like it. But I like it this week. Zay Jones and George Pickens.
Need 2 running backs and a flex in full PPR. Ramondre, Kamara, Etienne, Pacheco, Devonta Smith, Zay Jones. We need 2 running backs and a flex. Ramondre is the clear one. Devonta Smith is the clear one.
Yep. Kamara's my other.
I'm going Zay Jones.
Well, you
That's my
can't.
third. What?
It's 2 running backs and a flex.
Oh shit. Yep. Then you're right. I'm going
Because I would have done what you
Kamara
did.
and Devonta Smith. Yes, Ramondre, Kamara, and Devonta Smith.
But I absolutely would have done Zay over Kamara if I could.
You got a problem here again with the time for the running backs. So I'm going to be safe and go Kamara and Pacheco just in case Ramondre's not going, because all those other running backs play at 1 o'clock. And then I'm going to go with Devonta Smith. If we get some sort of clarity within the next 20 minutes about Ramondre's time, it's going to be him and Pacheco for me.
Adam says, if T. Higgins is active, most reports are saying he will be. Is he an unquestioned start in my PPR flex? My other options are Murray, Dillon, Elijah Moore. The answer is yes. None of us are sitting Higgins or any of those guys.
1,000%, yes.
Yep.
Juwan Johnson or Otten at tight end for C-Chav here over on YouTube. Sully.
Johnson.
Juwan Johnson for me.
Otten for me.
How'd your boy O'Keefe do for you last week? Did you start him?
No, I started the other guy and got 0, and O'Keefe had like 1 for 2 yards. So
I saw him get a. I'm like the only guy in the world that was excited when I saw Keefe get a catch because of you. That was good.
No, I sat him when we talked through it, and it didn't matter. But it's an alternative future, I guess. Ryan Leaf is the GOAT here, and Tom Brady got drafted by the Expos and is still playing today.
I love it. Well done.
Okay, Marco, you have just filled an empty space in my heart. Come back every stream.
You made up for killing me. That's good.
And then C-Chop says Jacoby Myers or Chris Moore. Bryce.
I'll roll with Jacoby Myers.
Sully?
Strictly a floor play, though.
Don't shit yourself. Just answer the question. I'm going Chris Moore.
So am I.
You just wanted permission to go Chris Moore, didn't you?
Hey,
there's too many Moores. I was trying to find him in my rankings. That's all.
So we do that one for 5?
Yep, I'm in.
Let me know how much I'm going to win this week.
I need to know where I stand out on the year before we get into these.
I think we're almost all dead even year to date, other than that bullshit $20 Cole Kmet Irv Smith one or whatever it was.
Yeah, boy.
Won by like 0.2, and they both scored less than 4 points, I think.
and Zay Jones.
Right?
Love it. Yeah. Good.
Catch up?
Show. Yeah. Hey, look, these shows have been going about 2 hours. I think next year we're going to do this different, guys. We're going to have to figure it out logistically, but I think we're going to start a little bit later and go like right up until game time. So during that stretch, what we'll do next year is have periods where you can leave to go set your lineups. You know what I mean? Like drop out. Do what?
Let's do it right here on stream.
That's what we did last week. That's what Sully and I did last week. But
hey guys, what are we doing?
I was viewing with you guys the whole time.
We're still on. We're still live. But anyways, everybody, good luck. Week 1 of the playoffs. We hope you win those matches. Sully's. Do you want
to go Saturday morning next week? Sunday's Christmas Day. There's 3 games. Saturday there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games.
I could probably.
I gotta check my schedule. I do have to check my schedule.
Okay.
Because I know we're doing stuff. I should be good.
Safe to say we're not going to be on Sunday, right?
What time's the first game next week?
On Saturday?
1 o'clock Saturday?
Yeah, New England. I think New England and the Bengals play at 1, and then there's a couple others.
Do you guys want to do 11 o'clock to 1 p.m.? 11 to 1?
I might have to leave a little early to go to my in-laws, but like 12:30 should be fine.
Okay, I'll confirm because I know we have Christmas stuff on Christmas Eve. I just don't know what time it all starts, and I didn't even think about that with games and stuff. But that will be the plan, and we have one more. Dacus here says Josh Palmer or Pickens. I'm going Pickens in this matchup with the healthy wide receivers. Even though the Titans can't stop anybody, and we could see 3 or 4 receivers have decent days for the Chargers. I am going to go Pickens here on this one. Everybody agrees?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. Good luck. win. We want to see you back here next week because that means that you're still in, you're still alive, and going for those championships. Later.